Now, the paradox of Chioma Ajoku's death is that if her campaign against the indiscriminate movement of trucks in Lagos in daytime had been heeded to, perhaps her own life would have been spared. But she became a victim of exactly the one social ill that she fought against. On the 26th of July, she was crushed to death when a 20-feet container fell on the commercial bus conveying her home. The Ajoku's family is still struggling to come to terms with the loss of their beloved daughter a month after. Chioma Ajoku reports.
Days have now turned to weeks, and weeks into a month. But the memory of how 27-year-old Chioma Ajoku died is still a bitter pill for her family members to swallow. At the home of the Ajokus on Gilbert Odio Street, the condolence register opened in her honor has been removed. But the void Miss Chioma left can be seen and felt by her family members, especially a mother.
My daughter was just not my daughter, she was my friend, you know. So, and we relate like mother and daughter, and we relate like friends. So it's like I've lost a daughter, I've lost a friend. But I know that time heals.
Chioma and her friend and co-worker Chioma were killed by a failed system on the 26th of July. Both employees of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria were on their way home from work when a fallen 20-feet container in Ilasamaja tumbled on the commercial bus conveying them from work. Following a public outcry, the Attorney General of Lagos State, Mayosora Onigbanjo, led the prosecution team against the truck driver and the owner. The suspects are facing a 3-count charge of involuntary manslaughter.
The law is taking its toll, and that is what I want, because people just die and nothing happens to those people that cause their deaths. So it's not going to give me any consolation whether they go to prison or not. But the fact is that the law is taking its toll on them. But I don't think anything has been done concerning the problem we face on the road. Those trucks are still on the road and unlatched containers on top of those trucks, and they are still as careless as ever, as if nothing has happened.
The pain is still being felt by our friends. This is a peaceful demonstration by friends and concerned Nigerians in the Lagos metropolis. They're calling for an end to what they term as unjust killings of commuters.
These are just consensuses who just want to leave, you know, they don't want to step out of the house and end up dying just because the government didn't do something about it. And we are not protesting for just ourselves, but even for the government itself, because if there's anything COVID-19 has taught us is that as a leader, you would end up sleeping in the bed that you lay for the common people. You know, we've seen what happened to the state people, so therefore we need not just for ourselves, but even for the government, the governor, everybody, to restrict the movement hours of the containers.
Before her death, Chioma had always campaigned against the movement of heavy-duty trucks along the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway, with the Hope Section 45 of the Lagos State Transport Sector Reform Law, which prohibits any trailer other than petrol tankers and long vehicles used in conveying passengers from entering into or traveling within the metropolis of Lagos. Between 6 a.m. and 9 p.m., violation of this law attracts a fine of 50,000 naira or a term of imprisonment for 6 months or both.
I'm advocating for this law to be enforced because that was what she wanted. So I'm continuing her fight.
Between January and July, road traffic accidents have killed at least 69 people, despite a 4-month lockdown order enforced, a slight increase from 2019 during the period under review.
It's been a thing of concern to the Corps and to the command in particular, because if you look at the trend in the last few months, we've not been having the series of crashes that are just coming up of recent. And it's an indication that we have to go back to the drawing board, and like we started a few weeks ago with Operation Scorpion 2, which is an intervention operation to nip this thing in the bud. And I can assure Nigerians that it's going to be a continuous one and we are not going to relent until we are able to subdue the rate at which the crashes are increasing.
The commander attributes the accidents to speed violation, brake failure, and mechanical deficiency violation. As for the 277 accidents in Lagos, 142 were truck-related crashes.
Heavy-duty trucks are seen at almost every minute along the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway. This is a danger commuters along this corridor are faced with on a daily basis. They are hoping the government will enforce the laws already in place restricting the movement of heavy-duty trucks. They are, however, skeptical that nothing might be done in the coming days. Chioma Ajoku, TVC News, Lagos.